So the Shulchan Aruch says, Dina de Garmi, וכן דין המוסר לאונסים, לאנסים, דנים אותו דיינים שאינם סמוכים בארץ ישראל. Okay, that's the first line. So, today we're going to explain a few concepts that are mentioned here in this seif of the Shulchan Aruch, that without that it's useless to go deeper, because that's like the basics to be able to understand what's going on. So we have to go slowly, and with Hoshen, I'll go back afterwards and explain all those concepts. But first of all, literally, the Shulchan Aruch is saying that we do judge things that are not direct damage. Okay, we'll speak about it later. And another issue that we do judge, we do dealing with, is moser le'anasim. It means someone that is giving his fellow Jew to the Goyish ruling system, to the Goyish judgmental system. Okay? comes the Rama and adds, Adim she'idu edut sheker v'uznu, witnesses that they testified false testimony, and they got to something we'll explain also later. It's called Hazama, Uzmu. So I'll explain in the next thing is about to explain the concepts. So I'll explain also about this concept. What does it mean, Uzmu? And the Bedin counted, believed those witnesses, the false witnesses, and they took out money according to their testimony. And you cannot give it back to the owner. Why? Because maybe the guy that got the money ran away with it or something like that. So we judge those witnesses, and they will have to pay for the guy that took out the money. Okay? That's basically Sif Daled. It's very short. But, like I said, there's a lot of very important concepts. So the first concept I wanted to explain is Dina de Garmi. Okay, that's the next paragraph. We see that both Dina de Garmi. So, to explain that, I took another piece of Shulchan Aruch. In Shulchan Aruch Hoshen Mishpat, Halachic Nezikin, Siman Shin Pei Vav. Okay, we're jumping now to Siman 386. Right, it's a big jump, but Hoshen, let's read. Kaimaran Rabbi Meir, the Da'im Dina de Garmi. Okay, so it's a machloket in the Gemara, like most of the things. Also that is an argument. But the halacha is like Rabbi Meir in the Gemara, that we do judge those cases that is called Dina de Garmi. That the Shulchan Aruch is going to give us a few examples, that from them we'll understand what does it mean exactly. V'davka ba'adam chayav Dina de Garmi. But only a man that made the indirect damage, he has to pay, we can obligate him. And that's that he says that to say that if, for example, an animal or a child of the same person made the damage and not himself, so then it will be a different law. Okay? Now comes the examples. Okay? So if I have a table and there's a coin of my friend on the table, okay? If I'm picking up the coin, then it obligates me to be responsible for what happens from the coin. Yeah, if someone is a thief, so when he becomes a thief, when he picks up the object. Okay? So this guy, he didn't pick it up, he just pushed it until it fell to the sea without picking up the coin. So it's not the regular way of making damage because he didn't pick it up. It's indirect damage because he didn't do the act of uplifting that makes him to be obligated in the regular way. But yet, he is obligated, the chayav. Yeah? Why is chayav? Because it's part of the system of the garmi, indirect damage. Okay, another example. Even though he didn't uplift. וכן הפוחת מטבע של חברו והעביר צורתו. Let's say you have a coin of $1 and I'm putting acid on the coin. I didn't touch the coin. I just poured acid on the coin. So now the acid made the coin to be like smooth. You don't see anything on the coin. So it lost the value. You cannot use it in the shop, right? You cannot buy with a coin like that. So without touching the coin, I made it that it will lose the value of it. Okay, so that's also part of the indirect damage. חייב אף על פי שלא חסרו. Another example. המוכר שטר לחברו, שטר חוב לחברו, וחזר במחלו. So let's say I'm selling to you a document that says that Reuven owes money, $1,000 to me. And I'm selling it to you. I'm telling you, listen, it's hard for me to run after this guy, Reuven. So it says $1,000. So you pay me $900, and when you get him, you can take $100. Good. But then I go to Reuven and I tell him, listen, you know what I did? You remember the loan that you took, the money that you owe me? So now I gave it to this guy. He's very close with the mouth and this and that. So he will take it from you. And you have to pay him, right? But I want to make a deal with another $800, and then I will forgive you for the money that you owe me. I forgive you for the money that you owe me. So when this guy, lady that I sold him the document will come to you, so you tell him, listen, the guy me for the money. So you cannot take money out of him, right? You understand the situation? It's too complicated.
Yeah, one thing is the one that has the document and the other person is the one that, because of the document, they owe him the money.
Right, yeah. But it's like a triangle.
Yeah.
So he took a loan from me, and then I go to him and I forgive him for the money that he owes me. So when you go to him and you ask him to pay you, he tells you, but this guy forgave me.
Yeah.
So you cannot take the money out of me. Okay? So you lost money, the value of the document, because I forgave him for what he took. So I caused you indirect damage. Right? When I forgave him for the money, I caused you to lose all the
interest. Yeah.
What? So it's not interest. But you lost the money of the document. So that's part of this concept of garment, that you can sue me, you can take me to the beit and demand that I will pay you now the $1,000. Okay? So those are examples for garment that is under a damage that you do have to pay. Okay? Now, I didn't put here in the presentation I made, but you have to know there's another similar situation with a similar name that is called grama. Okay, grama and garment is close but very far. Why? Because grama is under a damage that we cannot charge. Okay? So we'll speak about it another time about what does mean grama, which you cannot charge, and we'll give a little bit as well as other Shem. But today, because that's what the shulchan mentioned, garment, so that's so I go those examples, and now we're going we have to go on. So the next concept that is go down in the shulchan aruch, like I said, is moser le'anafim. So what does it mean moser le'anafim? So like I said, literally it means someone that gives his friend to the non-Jewish judgment system. Okay? So for example, there's a few examples that you can find in Mara. But basically, let's say you have a Jewish guy in your community that you know is doing something that according to Torah there's no problem to do it, but according to the law of the country, let's say Colombia, whatever, the law of the country, so it's not allowed. Okay? And then another Jew goes and tells the police or the tax people or whatever it is, he tells them, you know what my friend does? What he's hiding, whatever, you know? Okay. And so that's called moser. That's being moser. Okay? And that's very, very, very severe. One of the severe things that is go down in many places, that this person that is moser, that is giving up his fellow Jew to the non-Jewish government, police, whatever, is one of the most severe things, and people cannot, like they will have like excommunication, Hebrew, and they have curse and this and that. It's very, very, very severe. Okay? And not only that, also, like we saw in the beginning of the shiur, in this place, that the guy that lost the money can take the moser to the bedding of the Jews. Okay? So let's see the examples of moser. So I brought shulchan aruch Hoshen Mishpat, halachot na'abed mamon chavore b'yadayim, someone that is moving, making a loss for his friend with his own hands, and also moser v'marshim. Marshim is like a page, and two, no, the end of one, okay. The bottom one. It's Shin Peichet, Iman Shin Peichet, 388. So a moser mamon b'yadei anav. If someone gives money of his friend to the anas, it means someone, like literally anas is like raping, but that's like in modern Hebrew when they say anas, they talk about like rape. But really, honest is not only about rape, it's anything that is forced. So, like the Goyish governor is forcing the people, right? You have to pay him. So he is anas. You understand? Because he is forcing them. You have to pay him. He's not giving you a choice. If you want to be like a member of my club, so then you pay me the tax. You don't have the choice. You have to pay. You live in the country, you have to pay the tax, right? So that's like, that has the definition of anas, of forcing. Okay? So if someone gives the money of his fellow Jew in the hands of this anas, this forcer, that is forcing himself on the congregation, Ben Anah, it doesn't matter if this guy that is forcing himself over if he's a Jew or a Goy. Even if he's a Jew, that obviously is not acting according to the Torah. Yeah, if he's a shaliach of the beit, so that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about someone that is forcing himself over without the permission of the beit, against the opinion of the rabbis. Yeah? So this guy that turned his friend over to the police, to the governor, whatever, to the king, חייב לשלם מההפרש שבנכסיו, כל מה שלקח האנס. Whatever his friend lost because of him, he will have to pay from the highest of his essence. Okay? From the highest of his belongings. Yes, the most beautiful house that he has, he will have to sell it to pay the money that his friend lost because of him. Okay? And this halacha is not like we said before, that it depends if you uplift an object or something like something that you do with your hands, even if the guy didn't do anything with his hands. Okay? And even if the Gemara goes so far that it's dealing with the case of Moser that he even didn't speak. The guy of the tax of the king, the taxman of the king came, and there was one guy that was nodding with his hand to the direction of his friend. Like that, yeah, something like this. So for this movement by itself, it was enough that the Gemara called him Moser. He had the din of Moser. So that's what the shulchan ends with, אף על פי שלא נשא המוסר ולא נתן בידיו. Even though he didn't give it with his hand, even without his word, because he is the reason that this poor Yid went to jail, or he had to pay all his money, whatever it is, so he will have to pay for that. Okay? Good. So that was the two concepts that the Shulchan Aruch brought. Now I'm moving forward to the concept that the Ramah brought, which is Hazama, Edim Zomemim. Okay? So that, by the way, very, very wide concept, and I'll bring you like the basic sources, but I'm telling you that there's so much Torah about, like, around this concept. All of Masechet Makot is dealing basically with Ezlomen, and you have tons of Marot. The Gemara, like many places, is dealing with this, with the laws of Edim Zomamim. Okay, there's many things, many details about it. You don't know, like enormous amount. You can learn only about this concept. You can learn a whole year when you learn it like serious every day. So we're just presenting the concept, and B'ezrat Hashem, in another time maybe we'll go a little bit deeper. Okay, so first of all, let's see the place in the Torah that it's mentioned. So, Ezomem is mentioned in Dvarim, Perek Yud. Sefer Dvarim, chapter 19. Says in Pasuk Tet 17, Ki yakum ed Hamas, 16. Ki yakum ed Hamas be'ish la'anot b'sara. There's a witness that is speaking about his friend's bad testimony. Okay? So, there is we know from before that Ed, when it says Ed in the Torah, it means about two witnesses, not one. Even though it's Yachid, singular language, but it's established in a different place.
A compound unity.
That it's talking about two. Anyhow, עמדו שני האנשים אשר להם אבים. לפני השם, so the two people that are fighting over, that are arguing fighting, they have to stand in front of Hashem. What does it mean? In the betting. לפני הכהנים והשופטים אשר יהיו בימים ההם. So in their time, when they had the Sanhedrin, right? So the Sanhedrin used to sit and to do the Din Torah in the Beit HaMikdash. Okay? In the Beit HaMikdash, the Sanhedrin had a hall. It's called Lishkat David. Okay, that's the place of the Sanhedrin in Beit HaMikdash. So when someone had like a serious case of Din Torah, they would come to the Sanhedrin to Beit HaMikdash. So that's why it says, HaKohanim ve'ashoftim, the judges and the priests. So what's the connection? Why do I need Kohanim there? Because it's the same place, Beit HaMikdash. So there's Kohanim and Shoftim. Okay? Asher hayu bimin hahem. So then it says, דרשו השופטים היטב, והנה עד שקר העד, שקר ענה באחיו. So they go deep into the case, and they find out that there was a false testimony. Okay? And so we'll see further on that like there's a certain procedure that they have to go through to get to this law in the end. But the result is that the 19, ועשיתם לו כאשר זמם לעשות לאחיו וביארת הערה מקרבך. You'll do to him like he was planning his brother, fellow Jew, וביארת הערה מקרבך. You have to extinguish, burn the bed within you. So, what does it mean? It means there is a situation that we get to a law of כאשר זמם לעשות לאחיו. We do to him, to the witness, like he was planning to do to his fellow Jew. Now let's see the explanation in Mishnah, מסכת מכות, מטוס, פרק א'. משנה ד'. I didn't write it, but Mishnah ד'. פרק א' ומשנה ד'. So, says the Mishnah. אין הדין נרסים זוממים, the witnesses does not become zomim. This special law that we're speaking about, עד שיזומו את עצמם, until they will make themselves to be zomimim. That Hashem will explain now what it is. כיצד? What is the process? אמרו מעידים אנו באיש פלוני שהרג את הנפש. So, for example, we have two witnesses that are saying that Reuben killed Shimon. Okay? Two witnesses, they say Reuben killed Shimon. אמרו להם, איך אתם מעידים שהרי נהרג זה או ההורג היה עמנו אותו היום ממקום פלוני? How can you say that you saw Reuben killed Shimon last week in Yerushalayim? Shimon or Reuben, they were with us in the same day, in the same time in Colombia. So it's not possible. Okay? So the Mishnah, this is not what we're talking about. Even though the first witnesses were false witnesses, but it's not zoning. That's called edut mukheshet. Okay? Not muzemet. We found out that this testimony was false, but it doesn't go to the box of hazama. אבל אמרו להם, איך אתם מעידים שהרי אתם הייתם עמנו אותו היום במקום פלוני? How can you say that you saw Reuben killed Shimon in Bnei Brak You guys were with us in Colombia, whatever, New York. So that's the din zonim. The din zonim is when the witnesses were out. Okay? So if the second set of the witnesses, they say about the first set, you were with us, not the people that you're speaking about, the people that you gave the testimony about. You, the witnesses, you were with us in a different place, so you could not see what you say that you saw. הרי אלו זוממים ונהרגים על פיהם. So then the second set of the witnesses, they become zomimim. They have the law of zomimim, and then what's the law? ועשיתם לו כאשר זמם, like we saw in the Torah, that we do to him what he was planning to do. So in this case, those witnesses will be killed. Yeah? Why? Because they were planning to kill Reuben. When they gave testimony that he killed Shimon, right? So the law is that if someone is killing Rotzeach with intention, with warning, there's many laws to that, but it comes to be that you have a death penalty, and that's what they were planning to do. They were planning to give it such a testimony that the beit din will kill Reuben. So because we have a second set of witnesses that are saying about the first set of the witnesses, you were with us in the same time, so that brings us to a state of hazama, that's called edim zomim, and then we have the pasuk that says, "Va'asitem lo kasher zamam la'asod la'achid." You do to him what he was planning to do to his fellow Jew. And then, in this case, like we have here in the Mishnah, or Makot, Aleph, Mishnah Daled, the halacha is that those witnesses will be killed. Okay? Now, the Gemara in the Masechet Makot is speaking about many examples that it's different halachot, different cases of scenarios that it's not possible to do to the witnesses what they are trying to do to the guy, to the person that they're speaking about. For example, let's say they're speaking about the Kohen, and they say about the Kohen that his mother was a divorced woman. His father was a Kohen, but he married a divorced woman. His mother was a divorced woman. So in that case, the Kohen is not the Kohen. It's the halal. Okay? It doesn't have the halachot of Kohen. So how can you do to them what they were trying to do to this Kohen? They are not Kohanim. So how can you do something to them that will be similar to what they were trying to do? Huh? And there's many cases like that we see it's not possible to get to do to them what they are trying to do. So basically, Gemara concludes in all those cases that they get lashes. Okay, they get lashes, which means 39 lashes. There's a lot of halachot to that. That's what Masechet Makot basically is dealing with. That's not exactly our subject, but it's something to do with the Azama. So again, let's go back to the original text of the Ramah that we're based on. So he said, "Edim she'id v'edut sheker v'huzmu." It's not only that it's false testimony. It's this kind of way of finding out it's a false testimony that it's in a box of Azama, that they are edim zonamim. Yeah? So that's what we're talking about. That's the case that the Ramah is talking about. But we find out only after effect, only after they already got to take out the money. So let's say they gave a testimony about Reuven that he owed Shimon money. Okay? And it was not true. It was false. And they said, we saw Reuven that he went to Shimon, from Shimon, last week in Bnei Brak. Then, after Shimon paid, after the guy paid, the person that got the money ran away, and then comes along the second set of the witnesses. They say about the first set of the witnesses, you were with us, Manuel, yeah? So, now we know that it was a false testimony. Not only false testimony, it was hazama of those witnesses. So, we want to do something, but the guy that got the money ran away, right? So in this case, those witnesses will have to pay from their pocket to the guy that took out the money. Okay? Now, in the Gemara of Masechet Makot, the Gemara tells us that we learn from the pasuk Kasher Zamam, like he was planning to do, Velo Kasher Asa, not like he already did. So, if, for example, it was a testimony about a killer, so Reuven killed Shimon, and then Reuven got killed because of the testimony. Okay, they succeeded. The beit killed Reuven. Okay, and then the second set of the witnesses come, and they say about the first set, you were with us. So, according to this Gemara, we will not kill those witnesses because it was already done. We already killed Reuven. That's called Kasher Zamam, Velo Kasher Asa, like he was planning, and not like he did. Okay? But but money is a little bit different. Because money can go back and forth. I'm not losing something. When I lost money, I can get it back. It's not like other things. So, like they say, money comes, money goes, right? So also here. So the guy, even though the guy paid, in this case, we can turn the wheel over and send it back to those witnesses and take the money from them and give it to the first guy, Reuven, or whatever it is. And that's an exception of the din of din zonim, and that's something that we are today dealing with, our bedding of today, even though we don't have the special smicha, like we spoke about in the first shiur. That's something we deal with. So, basically that was the shiur for today. Bezrat Hashem, in Yom Chamishi, we'll go further on in shulchan aruch, Hoshen Mishpat, Rabbi.